absolute escalation. In 2025, we're going to see a Bitcoin Godzilla candle, a Bitcoin price surge to US dollars. And what is coming to us here will shock everyone. These are the words and scenes that were leaked live from Michael Saylor's K-Party or are now being published here in the live stream. What's being said here in 2021 is really quite explosive because it's being talked about that we haven't had a blow-off top in Bitcoin since 2017. And right now, no one is really expecting one. So a blow-off top is a Bitcoin price that skyrockets exponentially. And that is exactly what could happen again now. And here at Michael Saylor's 100K party, it's explained in detail why this could happen now and why the chances are increasing that we might see such a scenario. But it gets even more shocking because they're also talking about a Godzilla candle at the K party, which means a daily Bitcoin breakout on the daily chart of more than US dollars. It's a movement we haven't seen before. But it gets even more shocking because they're also talking about a Godzilla candle at the K party, which means a daily Bitcoin breakout on the daily chart of more than US dollars. It's a movement we haven't seen before. They're diving into the reasons why this could be coming our way now. A movement we haven't seen like this before. They're diving into the reasons why this could be coming our way now. Let's take a look at the highly explosive clips. There are a total of 2 clips that are really worth watching.
It's been 20 short because of the China mining ban. And Bitcoiners still have a bit of PTSD. Like, we haven't had a proper blow-off top since 2017. That's what, 7 or 8 years. Basically, we don't even remember what that feels like. And the general consensus this cycle, from what I gather on Bitcoin Twitter or Bitcoin X, is that we're essentially going to be between 100 and 200K, with a sweet spot around 150K. Now, Tone is right on a lot of these things, and I'm more of a news person. Bitcoin often does the opposite of what people expect. If a strategic Bitcoin reserve is announced or a major country buys Bitcoin, FOMO could drive the price to $500,000 unexpectedly. Bitcoin takes the path of maximum pain, doing the opposite of expectations. And then we could potentially see a $500,000 Bitcoin, and no one is expecting it, right? Bitcoin tends to take the path of maximum pain. Bitcoin does the exact opposite of what everyone expects. You might hit 120K, 130K, 150K. Like, I think maybe we hit 120K, 130K, 150K. Everyone thinks it's gonna go a bit higher, but it just doesn't happen. So I'm totally just speculating here, but that's what my gut is telling me. It sounds like what you're saying is this time is different. Yeah, this time is totally different, if I'm hearing you right.
And it's really crazy what's being said here. People keep saying, this time is different, even in the stock market. And most of the time, it really isn't different at all. But it's super interesting to observe what's being pointed out here. And most of the time, it really doesn't end up being different. But it's really, really interesting, the observation being made here. Because with Bitcoin, it's usually the case that you get caught off guard. Look over here, a drone. Wait, you can see it, back there. Yeah, it's just not as heavily regulated as it is in the EU. Here, you can just fly drones by the sea without getting a search warrant in El Salvador. So that's cool. And for sure, we're all expecting, for example, the consensus is simple. Okay, Bitcoin is fine with me. But if everyone expects that, then the chances get higher that Bitcoin will catch us off guard. Either we underperform and we see Bitcoin prices maybe just around, or we just shoot way past it and see Bitcoin prices hit 1 million. And that's ultimately what you need to keep in mind. Don't just listen to the mainstream and what everyone thinks will happen with Bitcoin. Either we underperform, in which case we will see Bitcoin prices of maybe only, or we will simply overshoot massively, in which case we will see Bitcoin prices of 1 million. And that's ultimately what you need to keep in mind. Don't just listen to the mainstream about what everyone thinks will happen with Bitcoin. I'm not saying that this is my base case or anything like that. I just found the observation from the Michael Saylor 100K party really interesting, that he actually thinks people are expecting us to get caught off guard here. And you definitely have to take into account that there are scenarios where Bitcoin can really take off on us and catch us completely off guard. And that's just touching on this topic. And that's really, really exciting. But now it gets even more interesting because they're talking about a second case that very, very few people are aware of. So we're really talking about cases here that might not be the standard cases, but rather outliers, or at least many people see them as outliers. But maybe they're not as crazy as a lot of people say or think. Listen to what else is being said here.
Predictions for 2025. we're going to see our first green candle, and the bull market will extend beyond December 31st. This is a two-part. Brandon, how do you defend this prediction?
Yeah, I think that when you look at the 20.
So just to clarify, the green candle here just refers to a daily fluctuation in US dollars. We already had a daily fluctuation of nearly $9,000. Now we're talking about daily fluctuations in US dollars that are coming our way, as well as an extended bull run that goes beyond December 31st of next year. That goes beyond this year. But listen to what's being explained here next about how they come to these justifications.
I really expect that some of the news coming out this year is going to be just that powerful. It won't just be the meme of the news. It will be the actual fundamentals that follow.
You're talking about maybe up to a day. Up to a day, yeah, exactly.
I think the higher you go, the easier it can be.
Doesn't that add trillions or billions to the market cap like we've never seen before?
It depends on how high we go. But yeah, they definitely mean billions will be added to the market cap in a single day. And that's the bull cycle to make that happen.
And so now, they're even considering the ultra bull case, where we not only have green cats, but green cats that are over US dollars a day.
I think there are so many fundamental tailwinds for Bitcoin this year that I don't believe it will stop at the end of 2025. I don't think we're going to see a, collapsing bear market in 2026, which is part of this 4-year cycle theory. And that will be the first change in the way Bitcoin moves and is structured. And, we need to be prepared for that.
Well, of course, all eyes will be on Nashville in June when the Bitcoin conference comes back. Expectations are higher than ever before. Austin, Texas, the first green candle for Bitcoin.
Brenton says, yeah, Brendan, you remember there was a time when there was a green candle. For Bitcoin, it was unbelievable. People were projecting, just be ready, and then the masses still went crazy. It's inevitable this is 1 year from me, and may this bull cycle extend beyond. I think that's healthier, and I actually believe that's a better expectation than strictly following a 4-year cycle. Especially when you have notable figures like Michael Saylor letting the market know that there will be downturns, they will be bought up. This isn't a 1-year thing, it's a 10-year, 50-year thing. This is a year for me.
So, do you agree with 2 of Brandon's predictions?
So this is super sensitive right now. And I know that some people are definitely going to come here and write on YouTube that it's completely exaggerated and all that. And yeah, I'm totally on board with that. It's really, really exaggerated here. And what's really being said at the Michael Saylor 100K party, you might want to critique because there's a lot of opium moonboy talk. It's an ultra bull case like Omega God and Godzilla candles. Keep in mind, it was said there'd never be a $1,000 or $100 candle in a day. Now it's normal. Eventually, it'll be normal for Bitcoin to move by dollars daily as market cap rises. But we always have to keep one thing in mind. It used to be said that there would never be a $1,000 candle in a day. There would never be a $100 candle in a day. And now it's completely normal for the Bitcoin price to move by $1,000 a day or $100 a day. Eventually, it will also be completely normal for the Bitcoin price to move by dollars a day. That's simply because the market cap keeps rising. When you have an asset with a market cap of 100 trillion, then a price movement of, say, a day isn't really relevant. But if you only have a market cap of, let's say, a trillion or something like that, then price movements of a few dollars a day are actually a lot, because those dollars in relation to the market cap and the number of Bitcoin coins just seem like a whole lot. With Bitcoin, not really relevant. But if you only have a market capitalization of, let's say, a trillion or something like that, then of course price movements of something like US dollars a day are already very, very high because the US dollars in relation to the market capitalization, in relation to the Bitcoin coins, simply seem very, very high. But as I mentioned, if Bitcoin continues to evolve and we also look at the fundamentals, which are stronger than ever, if a strategic Bitcoin reserve comes into play, then definitely such things are possible. Honestly, I don't see us having an ER candle in this cycle. And I'm also very, very skeptical about whether we'll have an extended cycle because there's talk now about having something like a super cycle. I can definitely see us experiencing, let's say, a weakened bear market, but I still believe that the cyclicality will be maintained in some form, just a bit toned down. So we've really heard an exaggerated, let's say, bullish case here. We've heard Bitcoin prices for this cycle, with a potentially extended bull market, with potentially even Godzilla candles of $120 a day here, and you have to let that sink in first. You have to see if you can even get on board with this. Like I said, I'm on the side that this might come next cycle or the cycle after that. But hey, if it comes here, then I'll gladly take it. And I have to say, oh, now comes my big moment. I don't know if you saw it, but I just kicked the ball back. Yeah, for sure, but maybe we should look at it a bit critically that at the Michael Saylor party, they're actually handing out a lot of opium, so to speak. I don't know if that's a good thing. Michael Saylor is always ultra bullish when it comes to Bitcoin price predictions. If it were up to Michael Saylor, the Bitcoin price would have long been at, I don't know, 10 million or something like that. Yeah, for sure. If you want to buy Bitcoin, I'll drop a link below to 21 Bitcoin, which is the easiest way to buy Bitcoin in Europe. You can still get up to 20% off the fees when buying Bitcoin in 2021 with the code BitcoinHotel. Let me know what she says about the ultra crazy Godzilla candles. See you, take care, peace out, 1000.